Big exciting news to start your afternoon as a top Republican, not Democrat, puts in a bill as a standalone bill for a stimulus check, and it's $1,200. And it would go out right now and land in your hands before the holidays. Suddenly someone has their act together, and this is someone who has the support of the president, who would go $1,200 to $2,000 for a stimulus check. So suddenly the president and a Republican have this intact. So what is Nancy doing? She's going on recess. She's she's calling it a day, actually calling it a weekend. So she's gone for the day. She told you how many people died today. And then she had a nice little poster, probably cost about $500, about the price of a stimulus check for a child. And she went on recess. Just crush the weekend. So there, bye Nancy. Have a great weekend. Meantime, Mitch McConnell has not agreed to an extension of the CR at the time of this taping. Now, everything's changing really quickly. Maybe by the time you watch this video, he will have. But the deadline is the 11th. And if he doesn't get a deadline, guess what we get? Stimulus checks are shut down. Meantime, what's happening with $2,400 for SSI and SSDI? Big exciting news for that today as well. And multiple stimulus checks still remain on point for Joe Biden. But will you get this PUA and UI extended in the next couple of days? That's the big question across the board, as that remains the single most agreed upon issue. But the person who did a standalone bill for the stimulus checks didn't put that in there as well. And how about eviction moratorium? Yes, back on. Actually back in. That's back in play for the CR, along with a mortgage forbearance. Thank God. Those are very, very important. Suddenly the three things you really wanted are back in play, and someone's writing a standalone bill for a stimulus check? Oh my God, Christmas is coming early. Just, can we get this done? Meantime, big money is coming from your states and cities and counties, and the communities page of this channel blows up with now 14 volunteers helping you nationally to get big money right now. This is $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, as much as $20,000 across the board. It's really exciting. I'm so glad you're here. I'm not giving you extension. You gotta live with the real hair, not, what they do at the hair salon in San Francisco. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's an exciting day in which this is now reality. A standalone bill written by Senator Josh Hawley for a stimulus check, $1,200. $1,200. That if they got this done, you would get it before Christmas. If they got it delayed, you get it the day after Christmas. And suddenly someone has the focus of you intact. $1,200, with the president agreeing to go $1,200 to $2,000 for a stimulus check and likely to veto any bill that doesn't have it. Really exciting news. So please subscribe, because ultimately, as someone in one of the live chats today said, "Who's Josh?" I don't know him. I'm keeping you up to date about Josh, Jerry, Larry, and Mo, and every single wise man or lack of wise men in the Congress. But more importantly, what I'm doing is getting you money right now. The community page of this channel is blowing up because people want to help you, and you want to be helped, and viewers want to help one another. And now there's no less than 14 volunteers. We started with 3, we're at 14. 14 volunteers who are helping you across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter find that CARES Act 1 money that I detail on this channel. I'm going to go over how you can get it. But if ultimately you run into a roadblock, they're here to move the bricks and open the door and have you find it as well. Really exciting news. I'm getting you money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. Money right now. $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Not a $100 stimulus check or that ridiculous $600 junk you heard from Steve Mnuchin yesterday. Ignore that. So please subscribe. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm's rankings. In this video, I'll be going over the really bombshell exciting news this afternoon. It is shocking that someone wrote a bill. It's a standalone bill. It's for a stimulus check. And as you sit here today, Manchin, Romney, Mitch, No one has written a bill for anything for the CR yet. There is no CR bill. There's just memos and post-it notes and napkins, and, grocery lists. This elected official, this senator, actually wrote a bill. So I will be going through the incredible achievement of this man to actually have had the Christmas strength to come in and be Josh Strong and get the bill written, and we'll go through it together. Meantime, I'll turn to what Nancy is doing a lot or not doing again. Just you know where I'm going to go with that. Then I'll be turning to Mitch, which is really the one that I can't predict. I have not seen the fortune teller. She's gone. She's getting her hair done today, so I can't tell you what Mitch is going to do because the fortune teller hasn't told me yet. But I'll give you my predictions, or maybe he'll do it right after I tape it before this video is uploaded. And then I'll be turning to the CARES Act 1 money that you can get across the board. Really exciting news all across the board. Let's get to it. And this is the breaking news. The breaking news, as you said here today, is that the President of the United States wants to do a $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check. I'm going to say that again. $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check. We know that because he told Representative Josh Hawley in several meetings that they're having literally almost daily since last Saturday, and that the president may veto any stimulus bill that does, or CR, that has no stimulus check in it. So what did Representative Josh Hawley do? He just had enough of it. And you get to a point in which you're like, I can't deal with this anymore. So he did what I did in July. Remember LALATE write the bill? Remember LALATE write the bill? It was before Seats for Stimulus. I think it was almost before Purple Power. It was one of the very first things I got. I just got sick of it. I'm like, I'm going to write the bill. Here you go. So he just got sick of it and wrote the bill. And here it is. This is the actual bill. Now it's 12 pages long. I'm holding up the cover page, the first page of it, because it is a small set. But it's a bill that gets it done. Rep. Mr. Hawley introduces the following bill. It's the Emergency Direct Payments for Families Workers Act of 2020. And what does it call for? A $1,200 stimulus check. Done. Done. Not all this other stuff like Manchin, we have no money, or someone else, oh, we'll just do $600, or we'll do $400, or we'll do $200, or no, it's just $1,200 stimulus check. Amen. Oh my goodness. Now, $500 for children? Yes. So is there anything wrong with this? Oh, by the way, it's standalone. That's all it's covering. It's only covering stimulus check. It doesn't cover anything else. So is there anything wrong with it? Well, there may be something that needs to be fixed. Because there's something that needs to be fixed doesn't mean it's bad. Everything needs to be modified. It may seem to suggest that adult dependents don't get a check, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I've read over it several times, and it's very unclear in the language. I don't think it is Josh's intent that adult dependents, like seniors or veterans who are 50, 67 years old, that appear on that children's tax return, do not get a stimulus check. I don't think that's his intent. So there may be a language issue in some of the wording. Really exciting news. So is this going to get a vote upon? We don't know. Is Mitch going to call for a vote? We don't know. So what's going on with Mitch and Nancy? Well, last night Nancy walked in. She's like, what do you think about my hair? And someone said, you need an extension, Nancy. Extension? Okay, I'll get an extension. So she got an extension last night. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi got an extension for the CR. An extension for the CR, and now she says we're going to kick it to next week. So we have a new deadline of the 18th for purposes of the House. She called the House for a vote. Now, let's focus. Let's focus. You remember how things can get done, Congress. It requires 3 steps. First the House, then the Senate, then the President. The House, she called it for a vote. They extended it on last night. It is not law. It is not law unless Mitch extends it and the President signs the extension. There is no extension yet. So as we sit here today, the extension was approved by the House. It landed in Mitch's building, Mitch's room, the Senate, and now what's happening there? Don't know. Now, this is what could change after the time of this recording. This morning, we certainly thought that Mitch was going to extend it. We thought 2 days ago that Mitch was going to extend it. Mitch has not yet extended it by the time of this taping, which is about 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. Mitch McConnell is rather only talking about the moderates bill, the Manchin family, and the Romney group. He's saying, you know what, that's junk, and I'm rejecting it, and I'm never going to call for a vote. Done. Goodbye. And he says, the only bill that I'm doing for the purposes of the Senate is my bill. Now, it's not a bill, it's a memo, but you know what I'm talking about. So we're now reduced to only a one memo situation coming out of Mitch's mouth. He's not supporting the White House chat that Steve Mnuchin's talked about. He's not talking about Josh's thing. He's not talking about Manchin or Romney. He's only talking about his. But is he going to do an extension? We don't know. He's talked about other stuff today. He has not yet talked about the extension. So I asked people on Holidays LA, what do you think? And they said, shut it down. Hashtag stimulus checks or shutdown. So that's the push now underway. The viewers agreed. Get it loud and clear. Mitch, don't do an extension. Do a shutdown. Get the message loud and clear to Nancy. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm just going to shut down the government. You keep on doing things the way you want to do it. I'm just going to shut it down. Now, let me explain where we are on this, because this is what gets a little confusing. Nancy approved an extension not to shut it down, but Mitch has to agree to call it for a vote to get extension. And if he does it, it does shut down. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So what else has happened in the last few hours? Well, at the 11th hour, a series of Democrats came forward and said, we're not voting in support of anything unless there's a $1,200 stimulus check. And they also wrote a letter about it. Then other Democrats came forward and said, hey, you know what? We need an eviction moratorium. We're demanding an eviction moratorium in there. Thank goodness. We're demanding a mortgage forbearance in there. Thank goodness. So suddenly check, mortgage, and eviction are all in play, but there's no agreement. So is the federal government going to get shut down a few hours from now? I don't know. The big video this afternoon will probably be evening's check, because at that point I'll have updates across the board as we see whether Mitch McConnell extended it or not. Interesting. Now, how about that $2,400 for SSI and SSDI? Yes. So that would kick up in January, along with the MSC, the hazard pay, and all those other things. Joe Biden wants to give you $200 a month for every month from now to December 31st. This would come on top of your monthly check, so you wouldn't have to do anything. It would just be a bigger check, additional $200 a month every month to December. It would stop in December, but you would get two other things on top of that. The first one would be you would get a 20% lift lifetime. So if you make $1,000 a month, you would get $1,200 a month lifetime, but we're not done there. You would get annual step-ups based upon the benefits being tied to a new benchmark other than COLA, which hasn't helped you because it stays flat all the time. It hasn't moved. So as eggs and milk goes up, COLA is flat. And so the new benchmark would basically say, hey, it goes, if the cost of goods go up, I'm going to give you more annual benefits. Really incredible, great news. Then, multiple stimulus checks. Yes, Joe Biden wants to give you multiple stimulus checks. He has said it in writing. He said it orally. And he wants to keep on giving you stimulus checks into the new year. How much? We don't know. But, of course, Harris was the one who wrote the bill. $2,000 a month every month for 6 months until the pandemic goes away. And one thing I've not made clear the last few days, I want to make very clear today, is that Harris's co-author on that MSC bill was Sanders. And he has literally been on every talk show the last few days saying, you know what, the CR, everything that's coming up after the CR, you need to have lots of stimulus checks. What is all this other stuff in there? And he's right. The day started out with the jobless number. Every Thursday, you've been with me for what, how many weeks? 30 weeks, 40 weeks. And the new jobless number came out. So you know what I'm about to say was bad. Well, you're going to be surprised about how I'm going to say how bad it was. It was horrible. It was really, really, really bad. You and I know that it started at 200,000 before the pandemic, then went to 1 million, stayed at 1 million for a while. Remember how I always talk about those 20 weeks of 1 million? I had like 10 weeks at 1 million recording. And then it got better. It started going low 700, almost to 600. Well, this week just skyrocketed right up again, almost up like 100,000 points. Just really bad. So it's not a good number. Now, how about all the other stuff? Well, the really exciting news across the board is that your city, states, and counties are doing real money right now. And I'm getting you money right now. So what I want to go over is 3 ways you can get money right now. And get a pen and paper out, because I'm going to go over each of them very slowly with you. And then on purple, right after this, I'm going to go over one of them. And on Being a Mitch right after that, I'm going to go over the other one. First, CARES Act 1 money. Pull out the pen and paper. CARES Act 1 money is money from state and that is given to your states, cities, and counties that is there for stimulus checks, rent, and food. Where do you find it? I think you all know what it is now because I made enough recordings. So where is it? You call City Hall. You call your city housing authority. You call your state housing authority. And you call your county. And also you can go on their website and ask, do you have any rent assistance because of COVID? Do you have any utility assistance because of COVID? Then you call your utility companies saying, hi, do you have any utility assistance because of COVID? Having problems paying my bill. You call each of your utility companies. So you're calling the city, county, state, and then each of your utility companies. And you go through the entire list. And then at that point, if you find a block wall, then watch Purple Power Live every night because I'm detailing no less than 4 to 5 nationally known over 200-year-old nonprofits that are paying rents, utilities, food, and holiday gifts to viewers of this channel, despite whatever state you're in. They're doing it in countless states. So don't presume that your state is a bad state to be in, because it's not. Stay positive because these groups are absolutely doing incredible work. Finally, if you've done all that and you're still not finding it, reach out to a volunteer. Go to the community page. You reach out to them. You contact them. You go to the community page, which is linked in the up above. It says community page. You click the link. It'll send you to news.lalate.com/community. And on there, it is newly designed overnight. I made it a little bit more simple for you. So the exciting news is we now have 14 volunteers. My Lord. So they're separated between Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You contact them on whatever platform you want. 14 for you to choose from. They're all there. Treat them with respect, and they will help you. Finally, the next 2 things that I want you to go over is escalate benefits. I'm going to cover this more on Being a Mitch, which is the live recording about unemployment coming up about 30 minutes after this recording. I want you to consider escalate benefits if you made $18,000 or more in 2019. You get your 2019 tax return, you pull it out. You scan it or make a photocopy with your phone so that it's digital, because you're going to send a message to your unemployment department either by email or in their portal. Say, hi, here's my 2019 tax return. See if I qualify for, use these words, additional weekly benefits. See if I qualify for additional weekly benefits. That's all you're going to say. Don't say other words. Don't make it complicated. Make it very simple. And this is what I want you to do before you send the letter. I want you to look up what your state's range of benefits are. What is the maximum in your state? What's the minimum in your state? For example, in Texas, it's over $500 is the maximum. And the lowest is, somewhere around $100. So when you follow up with them, this is what you're going to be knowing in the back of your head. If you made $30,000 or more in 2019, you generally qualify for the maximum amount, which is about $500, which will raise your benefits about $300 a week. And if you've been unemployed for 20 weeks, that'll be about $10,000, bam, right in your account. If you made $25,000 to $30,000 in 2019, you'll be able to raise your benefits about $100 a week, which will be about $3,000, bam, right in your account. And then if you made $18,000 to $25,000 in 2019, you'll be able to raise your benefits about $50 a week, which will be about $1,500 if you've been unemployed for about 30 weeks, bam, right in your account. That has nothing to do with what Congress is doing. So that's incredible good news. Joe Biden wants to give you FPC retroactive at $600 a week from January to July. The moderates bill proposes FPUC. For the CR, I don't think it's going to pass. Both the bill, I think the CR will give you an extension of UI and PUA for 1 month, so you won't lapse. But I'll be answering all your questions about UI and unemployment in Being a Mitch coming up shortly after this. Finally, EIDL. Please consider EIDL if you have not done it. If you're an independent contractor, gig worker, or a Grubhub or Airbnb, and did that in 2019 and made even $1,000, please consider it. I have a volunteer, which I call mentor. That's the terminology I use for that one. For EIDL. she is also on the community page as well. So with that, if you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Ensure that you can get this money right now. I want you to remain positive because the viewers of this channel are getting thousands of dollars. Every night I have someone that jumps into Purple Power Live and says, I can't find anything in Massachusetts. I said, Tyrone got $14,000 in Massachusetts. I can't find anything in West Virginia. One viewer got $15,000 in West Virginia. I can't find anything in Texas. Another viewer got $10,000 in Texas. And then one viewer says, I'm having problems in Missouri. One viewer yesterday got $10,000 in escalated benefits for unemployment in Missouri. So congratulations to them. You should be the next person who achieves that as well. Thank you for, if you're not subscribed, please do. I have updates across the board, and also like this video. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and see you on Purple, and follow by Being a Mitch shortly after this.